Horde, when it was applied to the people of Jaki, was an old word for a new regime. The term itself has a long history that can be traced back to the time of the early Han in China. Most historians equate the Mongolian term Orda with a Khan's court and his main military headquarters. Wherever there was a Khan or other nomadic leader, whether the Great Khan, the ruler of the Mongol Empire, the Khan of the horde of another ulus, or the chiefs heading each of the migratory masses in a given ulus or territory, there was a horde. To the Mongols themselves, horde had a wide and complex meaning. A horde was an army, a site of power, a people and a ruler, a huge camp. These meanings did not exclude one another. In concert, they captured the sense that the regime was coextensive with its mobile people. A horde did not have to be in one place in order to govern itself or sedentary subjects. Hordes migrated, dispersed, and gathered anew, all while exercising control. Mongols embedded mobility into their strategies of rule, as I discuss in detail in Chapter 3. Much of the literature about the horde and other Mongol regimes uses the word Khanate to denote the imperial formations that emerged from the Mongol Empire. This term comes from the Persian Khanate. Struggling to understand the alien political institutions, the Mongol created Persian administrators coined Khanate, modeling it on their own Sultanate. Persians thus emphasized the position of the Khan, but while the Khan was a leading figure, each regime was a collective power. Jaki's ulus, Halu's ulus, and all the other uluses were jointly ruled. They had a single overarching leader who also led his own horde, while other hordes within the ulus had their own administrators. Major decisions were made by the Khan in consultation with advisors and elites, including the administrators of the hordes the Khan did not oversee directly, and the ulus' wealth was shared among all its people, albeit unequally. Given the distributed nature of authority in Mongol society, terms such as horde and ulus are more useful in describing nomadic power formations than is Khanate, and many contemporaries writing about Mongol rule did use the term horde to name this changeable sort of empire built on mobility, expansion and assimilation, diplomacy and trade. A power of a different kind required a different kind of name. The term horde entered Persian, Arabic, Russian, and all European languages following the Mongol conquests, and it is widely used today to denote a large crowd of unruly or uncontrollable people. This usage is a distant echo of horde, as it appears in medieval sources written by travelers, many of them religious men, otherwise accustomed to sedentary lives. These observers saw the Mongol power as brutal yet socially constructive. Foreign witnesses admitted the difficulty they faced in grasping who the Mongol newcomers were and what they wanted. And often travelers were scared by what they encountered. From these medieval accounts, permeated by the awe and fear of their authors, we get the modern sense of a horde as a powerful and frightening mass. When discussing the people of Jaki, I use the term they used for themselves, horde, with a capital H. I also use the Mongolian appellation Wulas Jaki. Wulas bears various meanings in the medieval sources, but mostly it refers to the peoples descended from and conquered by Jaki, Chagatai, Ogde, Tolu. The four sons of Genghis and his chief wife, Bat. In the course of his conquests, Genghis came to rule many subjects, whom he bequeathed to his heirs. These peoples included warriors and their families, craftsmen, merchants, and farmers. They were nomads, including Mongols and other steppe dwellers, and sedentary peoples. All these people comprised an Wulas, although historians may translate Wulas as state or empire. According to contemporaries, an Wulas was not primarily a territorial entity, but instead bore the sense of a sovereign political community. Wulas Jaki, then, refers the descendant of Jaki together with all their subjects, whether nomadic subjects who fully assimilated, such as the Chepaks or Mongols of non-Jaki lineages, or sedentary subjects who maintained a separate ethnic identity, such as the Russians. As such, Wulas differs from horde. A horde is more precisely a nomadic regime or power, and Wulas, by contrast, encompasses the people, both the sovereign and his subjects. The historian and anthropologist Lantheran Monk Erd points out that in the 13th and the 14th century sources, the meaning of Wulas was close to that of the common Mongolian word for people, Ergen. The medieval Mongol Wulas was a category of government that was turned into a community of the realm, and as such, it was assumed to be a natural, inherited community of tradition, custom, law, and descendant. A people or Ergen, he writes. No single study has heretofore treated the horde as a case of effective empire building. But historicizing this specific form of collective power is essential for understanding post-Genghis steppe societies and the nomad's role in Eurasian history. I hope that this book will serve as a model for grasping the impact of nomadic empires on world history, and that the book will help readers rethink the conventional view of empires as invariably sedentary powers. Historically, sedentary powers have indeed erected powerful empires, often dominating nomads in the process. But nomads have also established sovereignty over sedentary peoples. By capturing the notion of a movable state, this book offers a new perspective on collective power and on the fascinating shapes it can take.